Hello and welcome to the Big G Video Podcast. This is a podcast that accompanies my main channel, and my main channel is videos about making videos. I cover software, I cover gear, I cover sound. It's all about making videos. In today's episode, I want to talk about, do we need external recorders anymore? When I first started recording and making videos, external recorders were really big. I had a couple of Zoom products, Zoom H1, and that was really because you didn't have particularly good microphones in the cameras, and you didn't have particularly good external microphones that recorded into cameras, and they were expensive. But now we've got AI in phones to change the way sound is recorded. We've got a plethora of wireless microphones that are cheap. I mean, I bought a wireless microphone for £6 or a wireless microphone set. I'm actually recording this podcast with a cheap wireless microphone set for the iPhone. I'm recording into my iPhone. And you've also got a phone where you can just put it very close to you, which you maybe couldn't do before with a camera with your DSLR. So certainly I have found that audio is the biggest gripe people have, the one thing they will complain about, and the thing that can really detract from your video. Audio is the easiest thing to get wrong, and it's the biggest thing people notice. People will always complain about the audio. So don't buy lenses, get audio equipment. Don't buy lights, get audio equipment. In fact, I'm going to take that back. Do buy lights. People think they need the best camera. Actually, you could spend £20 on an LED light and £10 on a microphone, and it would hugely improve your video production. People will forgive bad video, bad lighting, but people will not forgive bad sound. So the rule of thumb is the closer you get your microphone to the sound, the better the quality. And the reason is that you can record at a lower volume, and that means you get less background noise and you get less hiss, sound and other disturbances. So if you have your microphone really close, then you can achieve better sound than if you have your microphone far away. When DSLR recording came out, it was really difficult to obviously get your microphone closer. It wasn't impossible, but you only had in some of the cameras a 3.5mm jack to put it in. And then you've got all these problems of what if the sound doesn't record, because audio monitoring wasn't that good. You didn't get your sound bars displayed. So having recording sound to an external recorder gave you a bit of safety. You would have the track in the camera being recorded off the internal microphones, and you would have a microphone or a recorder placed closer to the subject and then recorded either into the recorder itself, or the microphone was connected to a recorder, and you would synchronize them in post. And you could get plugins called Pluralize that did this, and you would just click a button and it would sync the external audio up to the camera's internal audio, and boom, you would have not only two recordings of the same audio for safety, but you would also have much better audio recording. But now things like your editing programs do the audio syncing automatically. You don't need to go and buy a third-party program. You can record audio on your phone. You could have your camera set up and be holding a phone, and that would be getting the microphones much closer to the person speaking. If you vlog, you are naturally closer. If you vlog on your phone, I should say, you are naturally closer, or you are naturally closer to the microphones because your phone is at arm's length. And you can buy external microphone sets where you've got two microphones, for example, and one receiver. So do we even need external recorders anymore? I don't think we do. I have far too many external microphone sets and shotgun mics, etc., and audio stuff. With some of the microphones now, with some of the external ones, not only do they record into your camera, but they also have a backup track that they record to internally to the microphone. So let's take the DJI Mic 2, for example. You could just put that on you and it records into the microphone itself as it's transmitting to your camera. Now, a lot of people worry that, what if things go wrong? You need that backup. And those microphones give you that backup. But I can't ever remember a time I've recorded something directly, I've recorded the audio directly into camera and it's gone wrong. There will come a point where that happens, because that always happens. There will come a point where I have an SD card failure and I lose all the footage. Never had that yet, but I know it's going to happen at some point. So I don't, being a YouTube content creator, I'm not recording a presidential speech. There isn't anything that I couldn't go back to and do again, in all honesty. So if I'm recording with a Sony camera and I plug in a microphone and I find, oh, it doesn't work, I can always go back and record it. It's only for YouTube. It's not something that I need to worry about. And worst comes to worst and I can't record it again, I could always just do a voiceover. So I'm not recording anything historic, and many of you would argue that nothing I do could even be deemed historic. It's really not good enough to be historic or monumentous in any way, and I accept that. I'm not going to miss out on something that I can't redo again. Even if you were filming something that was, really time critical for YouTube, you could probably say, I recorded this, it didn't work, so I'm going to talk about it now and hopefully sync up the audio and hopefully make it work in the edit. So there's nothing for a YouTuber that's so important you can't record it again or voice over. So I really don't think we need external microphones. Bingo, bingo, bingo. I don't really think we need external recorders anymore. I think if you're working on a film set, working television, absolutely, you would not want to have things left to chance. Now, I did once have things left to chance. I went out and I recorded an interview with someone, and I was using an external recorder. I brought along a small Sony compact camera, and the person I was interviewing was like, oh, I thought you were going to bring along your DSLR, because they saw DSLRs as the way to do it. I was like, well, I've had to travel a long way. I've just bought this small recorder. We're going to record sound into here. And this is another reason why maybe you don't want to use an external recorder. You've got two things to press the button on. And for whatever reason, I recorded the video, we did the interview, but the sound didn't record. I don't know what it was. I don't know if we got, I didn't press it or it wasn't turned on. But because I was involved in sorting out the interview, I wasn't watching the sound. There was just me. I couldn't expect the person I was interviewing to be monitoring the sound. Just me. I had two things to do. In fact, I had three things to do. I had to do the interview, I had to record the interview, and I had to record the sound. And for whatever reason, I got recording the sound wrong. It didn't work. I didn't have anything. And I only found that out when I got home. So although I said, oh no, you can't do things again, I just didn't do anything with that episode. With an interview, I really couldn't voice it over and talk about what I thought, or I didn't want to go back again another day. It would have been a bit disappointing to do that. So it's another reason why maybe you just want to go straight into camera. If you can have a backup, but going straight into camera, you've got it. If you've got a good camera, it will show you the audio levels and you can set it so that you're not doing something called peaking. But now you don't even need to really worry about peaking, because a lot of in-camera recording or these microphone sets you can get have 32-bit float, and that means you never have distortion. So if someone is talking very quietly and you've set your levels up to capture them, and then they suddenly talk very loud, the sound may distort because they've maxed out the sound recording. With 32-bit audio, that doesn't happen, and you can recover it. It's a similar way that you can have a safety track that records at maybe 12 decibels lower or a set amount lower. So you record two tracks simultaneously in the event that if someone's really loud or a car goes by or something, you can use that backup safety track. But again, for YouTube stuff where you're recording and you're dictating and you're not going to record in a noisy place, or if a car goes by, you just know and ruins the audio, you just know to do it again. Is that really a necessary thing, or can you just get away with doing it again? So I've made the case that I don't think you need external sound recording anymore. I think you can do it straight into camera. You can use your phone as a backup if you want. You can even use your phone as a microphone. Certainly the iPhone 16 has this intelligent audio thing where you can get better audio recording out of your iPhone. I don't think it's going to revolutionize. I don't think it's going to be night and day difference between the 16 and ones before it. It's still better to have your sound device, whatever that may be, as close as possible to the subject. That's the trick to get. But, have a shotgun microphone very close to you, boomed over so that it's not in frame. Have a wireless microphone set. Have a camera and talk into your iPhone. These are all things that will work, and I don't think you need a dedicated external sound recorder. But let me know what you think. I could be completely wrong, and I'd like to know what you think. Thank you. Goodbye.